Gabby, and I'm hanging out on my boat in Miami. It's the most incredible day. There's a notification on my screen. Put on a mask to give yourself a fun look. No, I don't want to put on a mask. I'm good. I'm good just like this. This is fine. Oh, and I have sparkly nails because my friend's daughter helped me do sparkly nails when we were decorating for Christmas the other night. Okay, so this is an improvisational, off-the-cuff, spontaneous admission, and I have no pre-thought or pre-plan. This is personal, it's not business. One of the guys is going by on the dock to do some security or collect some things. Anyway, I'm in my marina, I'm on my boat. This is my refuge, this is my girl cave. I've had this boat for 5 years. I'm madly in love with this boat. She's like a human to me. Her name is Euphoria. She's a 34-foot Hunter sailboat, and her and I do not get to spend enough time together, especially with this last year of like traveling everywhere and working so much. So in 2017, I'm definitely going to spend a lot more time with her. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about beliefs and how I still have crazy beliefs in my head even after 20, 30 years of doing personal growth and personal development and transformation and yoga and meditation and stuff. I still find that there are a lot of weeds in my mind, and every time I find one that's been there for some time, that should have obviously been, I don't know, pulled out by the roots. Every time I find one, I'm like, oh my God, look at that. Look at that's there. So anyway, I was hanging out with my friend Maria today, who's this amazing theta healer, and I was telling her that I had all this angst and I was like stressed about something and I don't know what it is and it's bothering me and I feel angry and I think maybe I have to practice forgiveness, but I don't know why and whatever. So she talked me through the theta healing process, which is you do this meditation and you go up and you connect to divine source, and then you go to the place where the angst is and you look for the belief there and you try to unravel it. And just as like a little tangent backstory, I've been doing a lot of excavation on myself over the last few months. I've been going and doing these other sessions that are called unified therapy, which is where you work on your beliefs in a physical way. So you lie on a table and there's a practitioner who takes you into areas in your body where you might be holding stress or trauma and helps you to unravel that. So I've been doing those sessions and it's been amazing, like completely amazing. And I've been discovering like a lot of places where I was holding stuff that I didn't even realize it was there, but it's there and it's stuck and it's rancid, like if you keep this stuff in you for long enough, it becomes like rancid and it stinks, and other people who are around you can smell it, but you can't smell it, or you don't know how bad it smells, and then you're attracting other people who are just kind of making it worse. Anyway, that's sort of like law of attraction stuff. Anyway, back to the session with Maria. So Maria was talking me through this like theta healing practice, this exercise, and we got to this place where we were uncovering some of the beliefs underneath the feeling of stress and angst. And we all have bullshit beliefs, right? We all have beliefs like I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I don't love myself, I'm not pretty, I'm too fat, I don't know, whatever nonsense. We have all these nonsense things that we've accumulated, right? And that are like in there. Now, in the past, I used to think of beliefs as like conditioning. I used to think, okay, so I was taught a bunch of stuff and I organized it in a certain way, and then I had beliefs. I had a series of beliefs that kind of lived there, and they were sort of, the way that I sort of navigated the world. If I believe that I'm capable of doing something, then I take the necessary steps to do it and I execute, and if I feel like I'm not capable, then I don't go in that direction. I hold myself back. And so I thought of it kind of like a series of sort of like lines of code in my operating system. And over the last year, I've moved more into this feeling of like, okay, it's not like lines of code. It's like actually at a cellular level, it's vibration. It's the way I'm vibrating. If I'm vibrating confidence, if I'm vibrating competence, and a feeling of I can do this, I got this, whatever, that's a vibration that also makes things happen. It also takes your thoughts and makes them into things, makes them into people or opportunities or money or jobs or whatever. So I started getting into that kind of thing. And then today, it was the most interesting thing when I was talking to my friend. We got down to one of these beliefs in my unconscious mind. And she's like, that belief isn't serving you. That belief isn't serving you. You got to get rid of that belief. It's not serving you. And I felt like at the core of my being, like I believed this belief so much. Like it's always been there and I believed it to be true. And I was saying to her, like, well, how do I have an experience of this not being true? And how do I feel like this isn't true so I can feel differently? And she's like, get out of your head, get out of your head, get out of your head. She's like, go back into the feeling. And I went back into the feeling. And then all of a sudden, it was like this light bulb went off over my head. And I was like, this belief is as ridiculous as me believing that I'm a platypus. And I was just like, blurted out to her, I was like, I'm a platypus. She's like, what? I'm like, I'm a platypus. And she's like, what the hell are you talking about? And I was like, this belief makes no sense. It makes no sense. It's like I'm walking around, vibrating, reinforcing, announcing to the world, I'm a platypus, I'm a platypus, I'm a platypus. And then I attract weirdos who think I'm a platypus, who hang out with me, and they're like, by the way, do you know you're a platypus? And I'm like, yeah, I know I'm a platypus. And then I go back to my friend, like, see, this guy that I was dating, or this person I was working with thinks I'm a platypus, so obviously I'm a platypus. Like, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. And she was like, oh my God, you have to do a blog about this. And I was like, is anybody going to understand what I'm talking about? But like, imagine if you took one of your limiting beliefs, like any limiting belief that you have, like a belief I'm not good enough or whatever. What you normally do if you're someone who's like into personal growth and self-development, what you normally do is you go, oh my God, I can't believe I have a belief I'm not good enough. Then you feel shame about having a belief that you believe that you're not good enough. Then you're like, what am I going to do? How am I going to shift this belief? Okay, I'm going to do affirmations. I'm good enough. 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 And you're like layering this like bullshit icing on top of this like cupcake of I'm not good enough, right? Which like also makes no sense. I'm good enough. I'm good enough. I'm good enough. And like either way, like you believe you're good enough or you believe you're not good enough or you believe you're trying to change the belief about not being good. And you get yourself like really tangled. Like there's like a mental tangle there that needs to be untangled. What if whatever belief you have right now that is just ridiculous and you know it's ridiculous, like, you know, you can't make money, you can't attract the right partner, you are never gonna run the marathon, I don't know, whatever like thing is your thing, what if you took that belief and you replaced it with I'm a platypus? Like just every time you hear it in your head, like, I'm never going to make enough money, I'm a platypus. Because what it did for me was it created this mental space between reality, which is just the light being that I am in physical form, and this story, this statement, this sentence, this phrase that means nothing, that exists in there, that I invest my energy into, that just keeps perpetuating some kind of dynamic in my life, in the world, that continues to not serve me, right? And maybe you don't want to say I'm a platypus, maybe you want to say I'm a velociraptor, or something. Maybe you want to replace it with something else, but the other thing that it does is it takes the seriousness out of the belief works. So many of the people that I know that are working in the health and wellness space, whether they're doing coaching or nutrition or therapy or whatever they're doing, so many of them are targeting the beliefs. You know, they'll say to me like, oh, I'm working on weight loss, but really it's not about weight loss, it's the beliefs underneath the weight loss. Okay, fine. Or they'll say, I'm working on stress and I'm not really working on like, you know, the lifestyle habits, I'm really working on the beliefs. And great, that's awesome. And we all need to be working on these underlying beliefs, but are you working on them in a way that's super heavy and dramatic? Like, oh, I have a belief, it's a really bad one. It's just, it's covered in shame. I'm so embarrassed that I have this belief. I have this belief that I'm well, I hate to say it, that I'm not worthy, right? And then you read 10 Brené Brown books about it, and then you watch TED Talks about it, and then you go to a support group about it where everybody else in the group is like, yes, I also have the belief that I'm not worthy, right? And then you join a 12-step meeting about it, so you can do 12 steps to get rid of your belief that you're not worthy, right? Like, really? Yes, but like, maybe it doesn't have to be that hard. Maybe it doesn't have to be so much work. Maybe it doesn't have to be so serious. And so much of what I love to do, whether I'm working with people like therapeutically or talking to them about their business or their practices or whatever, is to like try to have more of a sense of humor about what we're doing and how we're doing it, because humans are kind of crazy. I don't know if you realize how kind of crazy we are, but this whole experience, the human experience, is kind of wild. It's kind of wild. We're this like non-physical stuff that comes into like some physical form for some time and then goes back into being non-physical stuff. And the whole time we're here, we're trying to get all this stuff so that we can feel a certain way. Like, oh, if only I were skinny. If only I were rich. If only I were married. If only I were divorced. If only I lived somewhere warm. If only I could go on vacation, right? It's always something external, and I am so guilty of this. I am so guilty of wanting validation and wanting reassurance and wanting external conditions to make me feel comfortable, to make me feel safe, to make me feel loved, to make me feel happy, you know. So and when you see it in other people, when you see, hi Carrie, hi Maria, this is for you, because I just told them about the platypus, so you should be you should be proud, because I said I would say it and I'm saying it. So Valerie says, Abraham 6 when you have the bad thought, laugh about it, change the reaction to the thought. Yeah, now I can't talk. Change the reaction to the thought, change the vibration. So I'm a platypus is perfect. Yeah, and I've been obsessively listening to Abraham Hicks because I feel like it immediately gets me into like source mode. So my normal everyday thinking can be convoluted and bullshitty and whatever. And then when I listen to Abraham, I get in that flow. I get in that source flow where I'm like tuned in, tapped in, turned on, as she says. And when I'm tuned in, tapped in, turned on, and then I look at something, then I have a new perspective. But, you know, Maria and I were talking about earlier, how do you stay there? How do you stay there when you get the shitty email, or someone cuts you off in traffic, or you know, someone betrays you, or you can't pay your bills? I was talking to another friend today. She's like, I can't pay my bills. I can't pay my bills. So like, how do you stay in humor? How do you stay in positive reaction? How do you stay in a place of good vibration so that you don't focus on the thing that's only going to make more of that thing keep coming, which I also think is kind of ominous. I don't know if you listen to Abraham, she's like, if you think about the thing you don't want, you're going to get more of the thing that you don't want. That kind of freaks me out. I find that to be a little bit disconcerting, because I'll catch myself thinking about the thing that I don't want, and then I'll be like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I can't think about that thing. I have to think about something else. So I think from now, I'll just go back to I'm a platypus. And if I go back to I'm a platypus, then at least I'm not thinking about the thing that I don't want to be thinking about, which is, you know, a better place to be, for better vibration, for better manifestation. So that was my grand insight for today, and I think it's just so mind-blowing that you can explore your mind for so long, years and years and years and years and years and years and years, and still there's new ways to understand and to transform your beingness. Okay, that's it. That's my story. I'm happy you were here for a couple minutes to hang out with me. I'll give you a little brief tour of the boat and marina so you can see. We got a phone call there, so it interrupted for a second. But this is my boat neighbor. He has the same boat as me. This is the marina behind me. This is, oh, can you see that? That's going out to Biscayne Bay, and this is the rest of the marina. It's pretty, right? And then you see over there, that's Bayshore. And you can walk over there to Starbucks, to Scotty's Landing, to Monty's. There's a bunch of cool hangout places over there. And then we also have this little island over here, which is great if you want to go out for like a paddleboard or a kayak or something like that. And then when you want to go out to the sea, you just go right down the channel there, whoop, and you're out in the bay for some good sailing adventures. Okay, that's my tour. I'll see you guys later. Bye.